Good morning, good morning, good morning, everyone. Welcome. This is Saturday or Sunday. You know what? I don't even know what day it is. Can you tell your girl wants to go on vacation? There is that. How are you guys all doing this morning? I hope you guys are having a fabulous morning. We are only on YouTube this morning. That's right. You will find us only right here on YouTube. The reason for that being is we're testing some things out. So if you're looking for us, pass the word around, or if you know people are trying to find us, please make sure that you look around. Let me get everything pulled up where it needs to be. I hope you guys are having a fabulous Sunday. I will be off next Sunday. I will be on vacation. I get to do the vacation thing, if you will. So good morning. Let's just get to the live chat part. So I want to have a really deep dive conversation with you guys. And that is what happens when you mess up your MDF. Let's have it's a real conversation. The problem is this. We are flawed people. We're going to press our MDF and it's not going to come out 100% perfect. We're going to have a bad day of maybe our printer didn't print our image correctly. Maybe we didn't use enough pressure and we ended up with those marble spots on there, right? So before we deep dive into all the issues that we could have on MDF, I would like for you guys to say good morning to the ladies behind the helm today. We have Miss Jody and Cheyenne. They will be in the comment section answering all the things that you need. You will see probably mainly Cheyenne over on the Facebook in the questions area, and you'll see Jody in, actually you'll see them both now that I think about it. They're going to both be there. They'll both be answering your questions, whatever it may be. So say good morning to the ladies, if you don't mind, while I go grab my coffee, because I feel like it's a coffee day. As you could also tell, I am very hoarse still from losing my voice, but that doesn't stop the sass around here. It's still going to be fully locked and loaded. So you guys have seen where I have messed up plenty of different MDF type of things on a live. And the problem is when we mess them up, we don't know what to do with them when we're done, right? We kind of look at things. I'm going to grab a board. Give me 1 second. We look at it and go, great. Now what are we supposed to do with this? Now, this isn't one that I messed up, but you'll look at this. This is just an example. You look at it and go, oh, there's major pressure issues. I can't go and sell that. So how do we make something out of nothing, right? We don't want to be throwing it away into the fire. We don't want to be just throwing it into our pile of mishaps. How can we go about making this into a sellable item? So I'm going to show you a couple of techniques today. There's going to be some things that I'm going to talk to you about, the who, the what, the where, the why. So there is that. First things first, you have your MDF. MDF is shiny by nature, right? So we have this MDF right here. Let me just move my camera over. We have this MDF right here, and MDF is a shiny substance. Now, what you could do, you have this design on here. You can take it and you can sand it right down, right? So we can just do a light sand because, and I'm going to show you how to do it. You can take glitter, iron-on vinyl, and put it over the top of that. And it will cover your surface. And then we go in and we trim it, right? So you're able to sit there and make this really pretty looking design. Now, here's the thing. If you're going to do the whole glitter thing on like a coaster per se, or a door round, at least for the door rounds and stuff like that, you could definitely get away with the glitter all year round. But for like little guys like this, use these for easel art. You know, the little art, pieces, the easels that we have. Sorry, brain derailed. Use the easels. This would be really pretty for Christmas stuff, right? I mean, I know you guys can see that in the light. That's just, I love me some good sparkle, but think about it. Think about what we do to add sublimation to things that aren't ready for sublimation. But what about the things that we've messed up with sublimation? So I will show you how we did this. I also went ahead, and because I do sell stickers, right? So I sell the vinyl stickers. I can put them on yard signs. Well, what about also putting them on our MDF, right? Once they're on here and they're permanent, after about 72 hours, this won't come off. Again, I'm going to show you how to do this. Very simple and easy. So that's 2 ways. So, pardon me. You can use the glitter HTV, right? Or you can use a vinyl decal that either myself or Marvin can print for you. You can also use the Subly decal that will go over the top of it. Again, Subly decal is also considered a permanent vinyl. So those are just 2 of the methods that you can use to cover up your MDF and then make it resellable, right? So now you can add bows and you can add all sorts of things to this. Next up, I really hurt my heart doing this one. So this sign was not messed up, but I had to create it to mess it up. Now I have what they call chalk. This is by Waverly. It's a chalk paint. All right. It's acrylic and it's matte. There's no prep needed. I did not have to sand this, but I will tell you this. I did paint this right here. This is 1 coat. This one down here is 2 coats, and you can actually pick it up in the light. You could see the glossiness through the streaks, right? As I pick this up, this is not wet by any stretch. You could just see the glossy coming through it, whereas the bottom one, you do not. So we're going to start right out of the gate with this one. You could cover this up. You could then take sticker vinyl or a stencil and put a word over the top of it, add your greenery to the top, and now you've just saved the day by reusing this sign. You might not be able to reuse it for sublimation, but you can definitely resell this sign. Now, I picked up this chalk paint at Home Depot, or not Home Depot, I'm sorry, which you can probably get at Home Depot, but Walmart is where I got it. I'm going to shake up my paint really well. Okay. So I'm just using a foam brush. You could probably use any brush. Remember, this one is the one that has the only single coat. This is the double. So if you wanted to have kind of a wood grain look, there's a way to do this. Your first layer, you're going to go one direction. Your second layer, you're going to go into a different direction. Now, I want it so that my wood grain looks like it's going this way. So for my first layer, I'm going to go up. I don't want it to get on my board. Okay, we're just gonna. Okay, so you're gonna put a light layer on. This is your base layer. Okay, this is me trying to help you how to recoup a cost. Our rounds are not cheap. So for this particular one, any of the bigger ones are going to cost you about $10. And I'm sorry, but I don't want $10 sitting in my shop going, I wish I could fix that somehow. This is how you can fix it. Okay, so we're going to go over this with a light coat. Now, I am going to take my heat gun because I'm impatient and I want it to dry fast. And the reason for the light coat is because then it does dry a lot quicker. Okay. So now that we have the chalk paint takes like a texture, and you could probably get wood grain texture that you could put over it. You could lay different fabric textures over it to give it a linen look. It's going to be harder to see that with black to have a linen look, but you could lay linen material after your first and then into your second coat, lay it over it, literally push it into the paint and then peel it off. It's going to have a linen look. All right, so now because I went up in this direction, we're going to go over horizontal. Okay. Again, what is this doing? It's going to fill in all of the gaps that are in underneath. Now, I'm not being gentle with my coating. I'm also not just gooping it on either. So we're just going to put this across. And if you want to add a third, you absolutely can. So you just literally are just trying to make this an even coat around there. Again, we're going to take the heat gun. Okay, so now that we have our heat gun, now what this is done, and if I decide, I can put another coat on. And I would probably do that just because I did this in 2 separate pieces. So I would put a nice even coat over the whole thing, and then it's completely covered. So let's just do it. So this guy right here has a single coat. This is going to have a single coat. I'm just going to get this all onto here. Dry this off because, again, so that it matches when I go to do my all over coat. Okay. And then what we're going to do is we're going to do the whole thing. We'll let it dry while I work on the other project. Hitting it with the heat gun definitely helps it. If you don't have a heat gun, a hairdresser or hair dryer works just fine. I mean, if you want to bring it to your hairdresser, you can do that too. But a hair dryer works just fine. Okay, we're going to do that last coat onto here because I get black all over my board. Thankfully, this is acrylic paint so that it washes off very easily off of your substrates. Give me 1 second. If you want to have a protective coating on the top of this, you absolutely can have one of those type of coatings on there. Just so that if you want to protect it from the paint and the weather, by all means, put a matte or a glossy finish over it. All right, so this is our last step. There is already a layer on here. We're just going to go right across. Get it nice and even. I might do this just a little bit thicker, just so I can make sure I fill in all the places. Now what we're going to do is, I don't have any vinyl cut, but I will definitely show you how it could look with at least a bow on the top because we fancy, we need bows. You can add greenery. You could actually do this in a couple different different paints. So you could do the top in like a black, and then, and they do have a glossy. You could do the top in a black, and then maybe you want to do the bottom with a peel and stick, like a tile for wood. You can add a wood base to it. Have fun with it. You already have the base, right? This is your base for this. So you might as well try to get the most bang for your buck. And it might mean going and spending $1 or $2 like I did with the paint. I mean, this black paint is going to be a godsend because it's going to save a lot of those projects that sit in the bucket and I get very upset about and very depressed about because, well, I messed it up, right? And I know mess ups are learning opportunities, but there's just a time when you look at your mess up and you say, okay, enough is enough, all right? So we're going to just do this side now. As you can see, it doesn't take long to apply this particular stuff. And we'll just keep right on going because I want it to be even. And then we'll set this aside and we'll work on that next project. So again, if you had white vinyl cut out, which I could probably quickly go cut out vinyl. Very quickly. Now, the reason I'm using the foam brush because it creates streaks and I want it to almost look like it's wood. So wood is not like, it's not flat, right? So I want these streaks from this foam brush in my design. I want it to look like it's wood. So wood now it's going to have an almost grain look to it, right? So that's how that's going to work out for us. Slide this over. Here, that's it. Okay, so for your next project, while that's drying, we're going to move this guy out of the way. He's a hot mess. Now you have your MDF, and the MDF, like I said, it can be is glossy. Do you have to, don't mind the paint on my hands, you don't have to sand this off, right? But what we can do is we could take some glitter vinyl. I'm going to make sure that this design is bigger than, because I want to be able to trim this off. So I'm going to take a pencil. or pen. Okay, come around here. Can you use precise measurements for this? Of course you can, right? Take this. I'm going to go stick this. I'm going to go peel this off and then stick it onto my MDF. Now, remember, we're going to call this a mistake. Okay, we're like, okay, it didn't press correctly. It has pressing issues. I didn't center it correctly. It didn't meet my level of standard of what I want. Okay, so any prep to this? No, you just might want to wipe it off with rubbing alcohol. I'm going to go stick this in my press. I'm literally going to just press it on here to start. Okay, so that's where we're going to start on this. Give me a second. It's literally just a hot second or two in order to press this on. You just want it to stick. Okay, so I put it in the heat press. We're going to be pressing an image on it. So this is just so that things don't move. Now, can you see the image through this? You absolutely can. I could see all the dots. It might not be able to be seen on camera real well, but you can actually see the design underneath. So for this particular project, you definitely are going to want to use something when you go to cover it that has a darker look to it. You don't want something that is going to be just a center design because it'll shine through. Okay. I'm leaving all of this on here. The reason being was when I want to go trim it, I'm going to make sure that it's perfectly even. So I am going to leave all of that on. And now I'm going to tape this down. And we're going to sub it just like we do anything else. Okay. So fold this over because I have extra. Now I've created a nice barrier. What you're going to do is you're going to put it in your heat press. I have it at 375 for 60 seconds. I lowered the temp just ever so slightly because it is vinyl. You can go all the way up to your 385, 395. Just fix your temp or your time on it. This is just the stuff you go buy at Michael's, Joann's, wherever. You can also buy it online from various places. It's just the glitter HTV. That's all this is. And here's this. We're going to try to peel this off. And you might be able to peel it off because it is glossy, right? So what I suggested, okay, this is going to be a little bit more difficult than I thought. Yep, see, it's staying right on there. I'm trying to peel this. There we go. Trying to peel the edge off. Okay, I'm intentionally doing this. In order for it to stop the peeling off process, my suggestion, especially for at least the HTV stuff, is to scuff this up so that this has nice things to adhere to. It's smooth. So quick with your sandpaper over the top of that, right? And then it will be okay. Now, here's also the thing. Most people are not going to sit there and go, oh, let's just peel that. Most people are not going to go looking to peel your stuff off. I'm going to just adhere that real quick. Most people are not going to want to go through and go, oh, that's a sticker on top of that. Let's peel it off to see what's underneath. No, people are not going to do that, right? But what you're doing is you're going to neatly cover up a project, okay? So now we have this with our extra. Okay. And there you go. Now we're going to go through and we're going to trim it up. Now, how you decide to trim it up, completely up to you. You can use an X-Acto knife. You can use a razor blade. I just go through with this and just trim it all the way around. Come around the corner. I like to use my scissors for around the corner. For me, I just has better hand control for me. And that's all I do. So this is how I trimmed last night. Okay. Listen, these are just so that you could try to resell it. You might not be able to resell it for top dollar, but if you look at the stuff that we buy for our wall decor as it is right now, a lot of times it's a sticker on things, right? And so now you have a coaster. Or you could put it on an easel, and that easel design now is a little work of art, right? So now a mistake that you were going to throw in the pile or throw away could recoup some of your cost so that you're not all is lost when it comes to these DIY projects. Okay, so now I have these uber cute designs. Again, you can't see through that to tell me that there's dots or there's stuff underneath it. It's just not there, right? It's not underneath. You can't see it. And even with the white, because there's white in this design, even with the white, you can't tell that there's two designs under this. All right. But I would definitely just stay away from just like spot designs. Because again, then you'll see it. But because this is a full-on bleed, you'll be fine. So I'm going to take something that isn't messed up, and it's just because I didn't have enough messed up items in my shop. And I just want to show you that if you got together with myself or Marvin, we could cut you stickers. So let's say you had that round that I did. That round, you'd be like, I absolutely love this. I still need the person's name on it. I don't have Subla decal. My glitter vinyl isn't big enough. If you've already exhausted those two options, option 3 would be to get a sticker from Marvin and I. Okay. So we're going to lay this down. And there's a couple ways of doing this. I'm going to center this here. You can lay it down. You're like, oh, Nikki, that's not going to, it's going to have air bubbles. Okay. So yes, air bubbles happen. What you can do is put it on just the way I did it and then scrape it out. You can also come through here. Okay. Pull this back because now this is where it's on. You can then put some water on here, just spray it with water. And then this way you can adjust where you need it to adjust and then squeegee the water out. Now, I'm using an ornament because my squeegee has left the building. I'm going to sit here and I'm like, oh, that's not sticking, right? I love the fact that I can literally pick it up and reposition it where I need it to for the moment because it's little. Take this and gently push out your air bubbles, okay? And then go around the edge and push it all out. Make sure all your air bubbles are out. Flip her over and you know what to do. Trim, trim, trim. Now, I also know that this is probably not even. I also know that you're going to want to create stuff that the sticker is using the bleed space of the item. I just printed this. I didn't give it 100% a measurement on this just because it's easier for on camera and trying to trim little tiny pieces. So you want to use your bleed space on your image that you're asking for, because then what you can do is just go ahead and make sure that you trim it up. And by doing this, you're allowing yourself some more grace, right? Because we're not going to be perfect at placing that. So while my placement of my image is off, this is all trimmed. A very sharp X-Acto knife is going to work perfect for this, but there you go. Now you have another option. So Subla decal, regular vinyl, you absolutely 100% could do this. You can get the vinyl stickers from myself or from Marvin. Marvin is allowed to print my images. I do allow that. I don't normally allow third-party printing of my images. So he is one of the few vendors that is allowed to do that. Now, again, these are just a few options. Subla decal, I didn't have that, but it works just like you sublimate on the decal and then you peel it off the backing and you adhere it to your product. You can use the glitter vinyl for this and now gives it a sparkle and dimension and sparkle without any of the mess. Can we just look at that for a hot second? I might actually do this for all of my MDF, or have Randy or Claire or Ashley and Katie all just print me wood. Just print me wood, and I'll do glitter decals maybe for Christmas, so it gives the sparkle without all the mess, right? So this is just options for covering up some mistakes, and that you can go ahead and resell. So let's get that round back out here. We're also going to get some ribbon. because I want to show you that, you know, you could do other things with this. Let me grab my ribbon. Okay. So we're going to pretend that I have some glitter vinyl, or I have some vinyl on this. We're going to dry this real quick. Give it some quick drying time. And just think about it. You put white vinyl that says hello, or you put their last name on it. You can do half painted, half Subla decal. Really doesn't matter. The possibilities are now endless for something that you messed up on. And listen, mistakes happen. I am not above the fray here. I make mistakes all the time, but I literally woke up yesterday morning going, I know exactly how I'm going to do the Sass. This is exactly what we're doing in the Sass on tomorrow. So your quick, easy bow tutorial for this, a loop. You're going to do 1 loop of these and 2 loops of the black plaid that we're going to do. And then we're going to put this guy in the center. Okay. So you're going to ask me length in a second. I know that's coming. I'll give it to you in 2 seconds. So this is approximately, you could go approximately 24 inches. These just happen to be 23. So go 24 inches, cut it twice. I'm going to show you how we're going to jazz this up. Add some greenery. Greenery's fun. Add in some floral accents to this. I want you to know, keep this easy and simple. So you have your center. This is going to be your center bow. Okay. Because I use wire ribbon, it's nice and flat. No, I do not put glitter all over my home so that's there for days. I send glitter to people so it's all over their home for days, but not all over my home. Okay. Just reading the comments about glitter. Okay, so again, quick, easy tutorial. Now, what you could do is hide this guy in between and go like this. Easy peasy lemon squeezy. Okay, nothing too crazy around here. We don't do crazy. Okay, there's nothing crazy about this. So then what I want to do is take a centerpiece. So you've got 3 24-inch. And then you're going to cut yourself about an 8-inch loop. You're going to fold that around. Okay. And I'm going to set this loop. I'm going to flatten it for now. Everything will be flat for right at the moment. Okay. So crisscross these guys, except put this guy straight. The best that you can. And then this is going to go in the center. And right now it looks like the worst bow on the planet, but I assure you it'll be fine. Take this, grab this all, okay? And just, you're going to literally pinch it this way. So you're going to create this and then you're going to pinch it back, okay? So you create the peak, pinch, fold it in half. So you're creating the peak and then you're going to fold this back this way to create the valley, okay? So now we have the bases of our bow. Zip tie this. Zip tie it. Okay. Now we could get bougie with this because we're all about the bouginess of things. We're going and trim this. Okay. Now first let's do this before we get into the bougie. Go in and fluff your bow. This is probably the simplest bow you're ever going to make in your lifetime. It's 3 loops, well 4 if you count the center. Okay. Get this all nice and fluffy, fluffy. Okay. So let's talk about attaching this bow. You can pull it just a little bit so you can make sure your loops are okay. And now you've got a really cute looking bow. Okay. This isn't crazy. This isn't rocket science here. Okay. So you have your holes here that you can use to tie your twine on. Glue, all right, with super glue, a magnet. Glue a magnet on the back side of this, and now it becomes an interchangeable bow for the seasons. They might like their sign, all right, but now they could take the bow off and they can put on a new bow and add it. But you see how this messed up MDF round? By adding a bow, making this black, we can add some white vinyl that says hello. It might just say a little bit of established by. It may say, it might curve and it might say hello sunshine up and through here if you have a vinyl cutter. If not, you can just go to your Michaels and get just letter stencils, and you can literally just stencil on your pattern. But then look at it this way. This could have sat in your garbage. This could have been thrown away. This could have been, you know, a hurtful box of mistakes. And now I've taken my mistake. I've tweaked it ever so slightly with some paint, added the bow that I was going to add originally, right? And now I have a project that I can go now and resell it. I can go and sell this because no one's going to know the wiser. Can you sand down your MDF? Absolutely, you can sand it down no matter what it is. You can sand it down to give it a little grit. That grit will give, you know, your paint something to stick to maybe a little bit easier. Although this chalk paint says there's no prep needed. Bonus, I didn't have to sand anything, right? Again, you could get a glossy or you can get a matte finish. With this guy, can you imagine? Let's just imagine for a hot second if you had this as glitter underneath this bow kind of thing. The sparkle without the glitter coming off, your clients are going to love that, okay? Your clients are going to love the fact that the glitter does not come off. Add an interchangeable bow with a magnet, and now you've got a really pretty design. People then can pick maybe different bows, and now you've got a great product that is now something more you can use, okay? And then you also have your sticker vinyl. Wreath makers understand this right now. This is nothing new in the wreath world. Wreath makers will literally take vinyl stickers, put them on metal, they'll put them on plastic, and then they put them as the center of wreaths, right? So you could repurpose this for somebody who sells wreaths. Absolutely lovable. Now, I want to show you something else that you maybe did not know, okay? So let's say we've painted this, we've want to add more holes because we're going to sell it to a wreath maker, or we want to add it to a wreath. In a project, if I did not know that I could do this, and I can, the only thing is I can't say that you could do this to it before, just because I'm afraid that it would crack the MDF. But I've pressed on MDF that I've put holes in it, and well, guess what? It didn't harm it. So, you know that metal hole puncher I have? Here's about to change the game of everything. So we're going to go with whatever the center might be, just a giggles. Now I've added my own hole. So if I needed another hole because I want to take it and I want to put 2 holes, or I want to hang something off of it, I can add more holes. It does not affect the coating because I went through the coating down instead of coming from the back. I went down through the coating. It does not harm the coating. I've even heat pressed it and had no issues with it. I just would personally more recommend for if you're going to paint it to do it with the ones that you're going to paint. Just because that's how life is. And you know what? Do your own testing. That's what I tell everybody. I may show you something, but please do your own product testing. And I know I'm going to ruffle feathers somewhere along the line for all of this stuff. But you know what? I'm here for you guys. I'm here to show you guys what you guys can do with your MDF if mistakes have been made, right? We all make mistakes, but what can you do with it afterwards is going to be what sells you. So again, glue your magnet on the top, glue it on here, bow, bam, done. You're perfect. Okay, I'm going to check the comment section. Nothing crazy. Thank you guys so much for joining me over here on YouTube. We decided to go on to YouTube, just one, to give you guys a look around all things sassy sublimation. So Here at the Sassy Summer, I have a lot of videos that are just in the video section, but if you click the live tab in my YouTube channel, you will see every live that I've done for the last 4 or 5 years. Okay. And you can go back and watch the rewind. All right. So a couple different ways. Again, we're going to go over it. This is the part where we're going to call it the rewind. You can add glitter HTV to anything. So you can add it to your metals if you messed up metal. Maybe you messed up MDF, right? This is going to work perfect for both of those two substrates. I can't help you currently. I haven't quite gotten a think outside the box of what happens when you mess it up on fabrics. We'll get there, I promise. So what you can do is add glitter HTV. Glitter, you put it on your substrate first, right? Just to give it something to adhere to. Then you can make sure it's centered and it's where you want it to be. If it's not, gently peel it off and reposition it. Then what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to sub it. You lay your image on top of that glitter vinyl that's already on top of your substrate. You're going to press your glitter just like you would any other substrate for sublimation. So you could do it at 385 for 60 seconds. My press just happens to be at 375 for 60 seconds, and it subbed beautifully. It got into all of the nooks and crannies of the glitter, and it just makes it sparkle. I may sparkle everything at this point because I didn't have to play with glitter, and it won't get all over the place. It doesn't. Okay. Somebody is not going to sit there and go, oh, that's a decal, I'm going to peel that off. No, they're not going to do that. We buy a lot of things from like the Christmas tree shop, Dollar Tree, whatever it may be, that has this on it. So really, you're not doing anything different than anyone else. You could take a vinyl sticker or sub decal and also cover up those mistakes as well. Go ahead and print or get printed your vinyl, or you can print your own vinyl. So you can either have us print you a 12-inch or 10-inch or whatever the odd shape may be for that substrate you messed up on. We could cut you the bleed space because that's what you're going to need is the bleed space. You're going to then lay your sticker down. You could add some water to it, add the water to your substrate, and then you could squeegee out the water. If you've done anything that has to do with sticker vinyl, you pretty much know how to do this. So you lay your image down, you squeegee out all the air bubbles, trim up the edge, and you're done. So whether you're having it printed by myself or by Driven by Graphics, you can definitely make something that is a great decal that will be covered up. The bonus part about sticker vinyl is we have an outdoor shelf life. So our vinyl for what we do has a 3 to 5 year UV protectant on it. So ours can sit out for about 3 to 5 years, depending on the heat and the sun and the direct sun and all the things, right? But with sublimation, please keep in mind that sublimation is not UV safe. So even if your item is coated for UV, you're putting something over it, right? So you're not going to want to put this outside unless it is a true sticker vinyl from someone like myself, the Sassy Subber, or Driven by Graphics. Now you can use the Subla decal, right? The Subla decal is also a permanent vinyl that you guys can sublimate on, and then you could put it on your substrate and cover it up, right? So you have sticker vinyl, you have Subla decal, you have HTV. That's these. Then you have this. We took some chalk paint. It's the Waverly chalk paint that you can get at Walmart, a variety of colors, and it does come in a glossy and a matte. This is what it looks like, right? Perfect. You can also probably buy it on Amazon, right? Then you just paint over it. Any MDF, you're going to want at least 2 coats of that paint because the gloss will shine through because of the streaks of your foam brush or a regular brush. If you want to have a wood type of look to this, it's all in how you paint it. You can get what they call wood grain brushes to make it look like it's wood grain. Absolutely. Knock your socks off. You could probably even add a distressed edge to it. Have fun with it because you're going to try to resell this. So while it didn't work out for your original and you might have to put a little bit of elbow grease into this, isn't that worth it to try to get back your investment on this? You spent $10 on a blank. You really want to get that money back instead of it sitting in the garbage. Think of all the things that we've thrown away that are MDF that now we can go and repurpose, upcycle it, if you will, and then go and sell it because upcycling is the in thing. So go ahead and upcycle this. Add a magnet here, make interchangeable bows. Add some vinyl or stenciling at the bottom and you're done. You can add different colors. I just happen to pick black. You can use your metal hole punch to add additional holes if you wanted it to be for something else. By all means, do what you have to do. I just don't probably, I would say I'm not going to 100% recommend. I mean, I've used it. You're going to have to do your own testing, where I have put holes in my MDF prior to me sublimating on my MDF, and I've had no issues. But please, by all means, do your own product testing on this before you decide if that's for you. All right. But yes, you can put holes in your MDF, and that's the way to do it. Once this is all painted and dried, you can then go ahead and sell it. I mean, as long as it's neat on the back, of course, right? There you go. That's it in a nutshell. It basically is that simple when it comes to pressing or fixing the MDF mistakes that we have. There you go. I hope this has been a great tutorial for you guys. I hope you now can look at that box of mistakes. I hope that you can go, you know what? I'm not a complete failure, although you're not a failure. Failures are not in our vocabulary. They're life lessons. But you know what? It's how you pivot and how you work your way around things that's going to define you. So take those box of mishaps, the land of Misfit Island, and make something out of it. All right. Upcycle it. Do what you have to do to get your money out of it. And you never know, you might find a cool new project to add into your wheelhouse. This has been the Sass for Sunday, March 12th. I will be off next week. There will be no Sass on the, see if I come back to 21st, the 19th. So there will be no Sass on the 19th, but I will be back up and at 'em from here on out until June. So again, there is no Sass this coming Sunday, the 19th. I'm going to be away on vacation. So please enjoy. Have a great rest of your work week while I'm cruising on the beach. Until then, I'll see you guys real soon on the flip side.